Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I am going to be making zesty gingerbread scones. I tasted the chicken sausage. It's mild and it has a nice flavor. So I figured I'm going to make these scones because it's very chilly. We got a lot of rain and it feels almost like you want to say autumn again. We plunged back down. So I figured, well, the weather feels like it, so why not make zesty gingerbread scones? And I think they'll go excellent with the chicken sausage, which would also be a treat. So you're going to need a baking sheet, and we're going to grease this, but we're going to flour this as well. And I know probably in a day or two we'll be back up in the nice warm weathers and sunny and hot, and then I'll say, why did I think of gingerbread scones? But that's me. Weather. I could start out one way. I was going to make sweet potato biscuits this morning, which is really yam, but because they add sugar to them, they call them sweet potatoes, but they're really called yams. And then I was reading it and I said, no, I don't feel like this. If the weather was warm, I'd say yes. I said, instead we're going to have gingerbread scones. Now I greased my cookie sheet, as you can see. I've got flour on it. Now what you're going to do is tap it and move the flour around on it and then knock it off. That's how you do it. If you're not good at it, take your hand very gently and spread the flour over it, and that will work just as well. See? But if you're going to use your hand to do the dusting, just make sure that you touch the flour very, very light. Now we'll get a bowl and start putting this stuff together. It says preheat your oven to 375. Okay. Now they want 2 cups of all-purpose flour in this bowl. Make sure you level it off. If you don't, it's going to be heavy. I wonder if I could put a half a cup of in corn. No, I'll go ahead and do it this way. Next time I'll try it. Okay? Don't start changing when you're in the middle of working with people, because they'll say, where are you going? All right, you need a tablespoon of wheat sugar. Okay, well, they want 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. They don't state if it should be light or dark. So if I don't have enough of one, I'm going to use the other. So sometimes when they don't give me an option, I don't have enough of one, I use both of them together. People could say, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, I know. But what the heck, I do. Don't forget to pack it tight, because the brown sugars have to be, to get the right measurement. You need 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, twist it. Let's see if I can get it in here. Yes, it fits. You need 1½ teaspoons of baking powder. You need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. You need 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And you need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You need 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. And you need 1/8 teaspoon of allspice. And you need 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. I know, you're listening, said, is she ever going to stop on these seasonings? Yes, we'll get there soon enough. All right, now we need 1/2 teaspoon of grated lime peel. I have dehydrated lime, which I did last year, so I'm just going to grind mine up. So if you have fresh lime, by all means, go ahead and use it, but I'm going to use this. But remember, when you grate it, you need 1/2 teaspoon. That might be enough. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Once I have 1/2 teaspoon, I might need a little more than that. People don't realize when you start grinding this stuff up how much it takes to get what you want when it's dehydrated. I think that's enough. That's gotta be ground. You see, kitchen gets crowded and gets dirty. All right, now they want us to mix this all up. To get the brown sugar mixed, you might have to use your hands. Scones are easy to make. They're sort of like biscuits. But they have a lot more things added to them, and you can do them a little different. But you can actually see, just like women used a little bit of dough to test the temperature of their stove, their oven, and from there we ended up with cookies. And somebody got the idea, instead of making a loaf of bread, let's see what we could make smaller pieces of bread, and we ended up with rolls. So you can see when we start out with one idea, and then somebody says, why can't we do this? And next thing you know, we're going in a different direction and we end up with new things. All right, now they want us to put molasses and buttermilk together. So we need 1/2 cup buttermilk. Here, didn't I take my buttermilk? Yeah, it's right in front of me and I didn't even look. Get a smaller bowl because we're going to have to mix these together. And you're going to need 1/3 cup of blackstrap molasses. I don't know if they say it today, but they used to tell children who were slow, you're slow as blackstrap molasses. That's 1/3. Okay. Get this out of my way. You're going to need a fork to toss this so you don't pack it. Make a well in the center. And you know what? I forgot to put the butter in. You're supposed to put the butter in. I'm going to do that now, but I'm going to grater it. Why didn't you tell me? Don't worry. This is what you call making a mistake and recovering from it. You need 6 tablespoons of butter. And I'll grater this and not have any problems. Frozen butter. Thank God you're frozen. Thank God you're frozen. Do I know what I'm doing? Yeah, believe it or not. You make enough mistakes in a house, you learn. That's why chefs bleed, cut fingers, and everything else. If you watch it cooking shows, you'll see them doing things and go, oops, oh God, what did I just do? Yeah, you did. You're supposed to put the butter in before you put the molasses and buttermilk, okay? Sandra, how could you? I don't know, I do. I have my days. Believe you me, everybody has a day when you go in the kitchen and you know you should never have gone in the kitchen in the first place. As long as I mix that butter up with it, I got it. I skipped one whole line. 2 little lines. I forgot. I don't believe I did it. Okay, now I need my glasses again. Okay, yeah, I already did that. No, I didn't overmix. All right, on a floured surface using a floured rolling pin, they say roll out into a 7-inch circle. Seven inches. Does it fit? It sure dang does. Put it into a ball. You don't have to press hard to get it into a ball because it's moist. I could probably pack this into a 7-inch circle. See, I told you I could pat it into a 7-inch circle. How do I need a rolling pin? 7, a little over 7 this way, a little over 7 this way. Okay, that's a little over 7. All right, I am going to pick this up and move it to my baking dish that I greased in flour. Hey, use whatever you have. Now they cut in 8 equal pieces. All right, let me get my pizza cutter. maybe I should use a knife instead of a piece of cutter. I have flour and I have it here. Do flour your knife if you're going to use a knife or your biscuit cutter. Now to cut it into eighths, you're going to first cut it in half for people who are not good in their math, because they're trying this new math, and I know a lot of people are struggling with it because it doesn't make any sense to us. You're going to take this half and you're going to cut it in half again. And now you're going to take these and cut them in half again. And just go straight through the middle. You notice I'm flouring my knife every time before I start. And then you're going to cut these in half. You go straight down the middle to the middle. Continue. Now, for you people who have trouble with math, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how you do it. Very simple way. Because I have met people and they struggle with their math. They should have done like Miss Wilson taught me. It was so easy. She said, you might not understand it, but you're going to memorize it if you like it or not. She used to sit there. One of our first ways of learning was, she said, 1/2 equals 0.5. It's because we couldn't seem to get our decimals and percentages down. So she sat there and said, she wrote 1/2, and then she just say equal. What's half of 100? We said 50. She said 0.50. Like you see a dollar, you have a dollar, 0.00. When you write it, she sits there and told us the point. Half of a dollar would be 50 cents. That's where you get the decimals. And then she said, to make percentages, you move the decimal over 2 places to the right. We got 50%. I can do 1/3 equals 30.33, and 1/3 equals 33 and 1/3%. That's how she taught us. So if we did 3/4 would equal 0.75 in decimals, but in percentage would be 75%. She taught us. We couldn't learn. I didn't understand it at the time. A lot of us didn't understand, but she said, you're going to memorize this. You might not use it now, but you're going to need it later. I remember we used to stand up in 4th grade in class, and we repeated it, each one of us. And she would give it on the test. She was always throwing it back at us. Everybody who was in her test was an A student in math. We didn't understand what we were doing, but she told us we were going to learn and memorize it. But you need it late in life, and sure enough, it came in handy. This new math doesn't work. Too many people are failing now. All right, we're going to bake these for 22 minutes. And I will see you then. They've got to be good. Okay, they should be done. Oh boy, did they grow. Here it is. Zesty gingerbread. Let me get a rack. I'm going to have to cool them. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's hot. Yeah, I gotta get it out of the pan, so just give me time. See, when you cut it like that, it's one piece and you can slide it off. And you just break the pieces off. Okay, so here it is. And then I would break them, the pieces will break right there, and I'll let it cool, and then I'm going to break them up and serve them nicely in a platter so it looks nice for the presentation. That's what I'll do when I go to serve it. So now I am going to sit there, and I've got something else I have to do, which you'll see in the next video.